Dear students, today we will be taking up one of the most famous ode by Keats, and the title is To Autumn. In this ode, the poet is describing the autumn season. As we know, Keats is known for his sensuousness. So, the description is so perfect that it appeals to our senses. Now, the poet begins by addressing autumn as the season of mist and mellow fruitfulness. Means, during the autumn season, we can see that the earth is covered by fog and there are fruits which ripen up. Close bosom friend of maturing sun. Keats says that autumn season has a close bonding with the sun because it conspires with the sun and loads and blesses the vines, the creepers, the cottage trees with abundance of fruit. He says, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees. He means to say that the trees are overloaded with apples, and that is why they bend with the weight of the fruit and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core. These fruits are ripened to the innermost part. To swell the gourd and pluck the hazel shells, and autumn season conspires with the sun and fills the hazel shells, that are the nuts which are edible. They swell and they grow bigger in size with sweet kernel. The sweet scent of these ripened up fruits spreads everywhere to set budding more and still more later flowers for the bees. This season causes more and more flowers to blossom in a way that the bees, they begin to think that the warm days will never cease or the summer days will never come to an end, and as a result their cells, they overflow with honey which they gather from these flowers. Now, in the second stanza, the poet is personifying the autumn season into a harvester, a reaper, a gleaner, and a cider maker. He says that anybody who wishes to see the autumn season can find the autumn season sitting carelessly on a granary floor. He says, who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor. He says, whoever wishes to see the abundance, the bounty of autumn season, he can find the spirit of autumn in the form of a harvester whose work of collecting harvest is done, and he is sitting carelessly on a storehouse floor with his hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind. Winnowing wind means the wind which is blowing and which is lifting gently the hair, or on a half-wreathed furrow sound asleep, or anybody who wishes to see autumn season can see it in the form of a reaper who has fallen asleep, and the work of reaping is incomplete because he is drowsed with the fumes of poppies, because he is drowsed or he is overcome by the fumes of poppy and fallen asleep. He says, while thy hook spares the next swath and all its twined flowers, means the hook, that is the instrument which is used for cutting the corn, it spares, it saves the next swath, the next handful of corn. Why? Because the reaper has fallen asleep. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook. Or sometimes the autumn season can be seen in the form of a gleaner, a person who carries the bundle of corn and on its head and crosses the brook, the river, with balanced steps in order to reach safely other side. The balance, he carefully maintains the balance. Or by a cedar press with patient look, thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours. Or the autumn season can be seen in the form of a cedar maker who is sitting and watching the cedar press, that is the machine which is used for extracting apple juice, and he sees the juice falling drop by drop from the machine. Now, in the next lines, the poet conveys the message that one should not yearn for the rapturous music of spring. He says autumn season has got its own music too. He says, while barred clouds bloom, the soft dying day, means at the time when the sun is about to set, these clouds, they are illumined by the rays of the setting sun, and it is during this time that the music of autumn season can be heard. He says, where are the songs of spring? Where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too. Autumn season has got its music too. While barred clouds bloom the soft dying day and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue, the plains are covered with the rosy light of the setting sun. At this time, one can hear the wailful choir of the small gnats. The small gnats are the two winged flies which form a choir, and they chant a mournful song among the river shallows. And as the wind blows, they rise and they fall as the wind ceases to blow. Means these small two-winged flies, they rise up and then they fall with the help of the wind which blows. And full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne. One can also listen to the bleating of the lambs from the hilly bournes, means the enclosures where they are kept. Hedge cricket sing, and now with treble soft. Hedge cricket can also be heard singing. These are also type of insects. And now with treble soft, the redbreast whistles from a garden croft. One can also listen to the redbreast whistling, means the shrill note which is coming from the redbreast from a garden croft, from a small enclosed garden. And gathering swallows twitter in the skies, or one can hear the swallows twittering when they gather together in order to leave the country in search of warmer climate, because winter is going to approach, and that is why they are gathering together in order to leave the country for a warmer place. So in this ode, Keats has beautifully described the autumn season. Thank you.